bitrate, and cheesecake? It is the Andy Walker method today on Call for Help.
It's time for Call for Help. So glad you're here. This is the show where we help you with your technology. I'm Leo Laporte. I am the helper. And if you've got a question or a problem, or you'd like to know more about a particular kind of technology, this is the show for you. We talk about everything from computers to the internet to MP3 players, cell phones, which might be the most common kind of computer in use today. I bet it is, by several hundred million. We also talk about home theaters, MP3 players. If it's got a chip in it, this show is all about it. And we're not one big ad for this stuff. We talk about it. We tell you what's good, what's bad, how to use it, how to abuse it if you want. We call that hacking, and how to get rid of it when you're done. This is episode 476. One of my favorite geeks is here, Callie Lewis, co-host. Beautiful, pretty, and pink, as they say. So good to see you.
Hey.
From geekbrief.tv.
Yes.
On the Pod Show Network.
It's great
and
to
a
be
wonderful podcast. I highly recommend everybody watch that. How do you do this? Now, when you're here doing the show, who's doing the podcast?
Well, lately we have been just pre-doing it. So the previous week we'll do all of our shows for that week and the week that we're here. So
there's no
we've been
rest for
working
the
hard.
weary.
You see my bags?
Yeah, well, I don't see any bags, but it's true though that when you're your own boss, when it's your own company, there's nobody to pick up the slack when you take
Right.
time off.
Can't just hand it off.
So you
yeah.
just work twice as hard the week before.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate
I've been
it.
enjoying it.
Oh, we
Learning
love
a
having
lot.
you here. You're going to talk today about Gmail. Do you use Gmail as your email?
Absolutely. I think most of us do here, right?
Yeah,
Take a poll?
it's amazing how popular Gmail is.
Yeah.
What's
And-
Gmail?
Oh, shut up, Mikey. I know he uses it. In fact, whenever I sign on to Google Talk, his away message is Gmailing it all night long, baby.
Are you serious?
It's a little weird, but Gmail
Okay,
is
well, that's
Google's
Mikey.
free web-based email, and you're talking about using scripts.
Yeah, using scripts for Gmail just make it a little bit more powerful.
Very advanced.
Yeah.
Speaking of advancement, Merlin Mann is here. He's a doctor, a PhD in productivity. He's going to talk about Mac timer tricks. Now, believe it or not, you can be more productive if you time what you're doing. Merlin will show us how. Andy Walker is back, my good friend, my favorite co-host, a guy who was on this show for a year and I missed so much.
Yeah.
He's now doing his own podcast, Lab Rats. He's a wonderful charity, which I hope we get a chance to talk about, called Little Geeks, where he's gathering equipment for children who need computers. It's wonderful, littlegeeks.com. He's famous, you know.
Absolutely.
For his, well, in general, but mostly for his food demos. He's done these on this show for years. In fact, we're still cleaning out bits and pieces of food from the crevices here, and on many other television channels. And we're going to see his food demo on bit rates, something to do with
very interested.
cheesecake. The good thing you'll like about the food demos, and Amber always liked this, is you get to eat it afterwards. When you're done, you get to eat the food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then bring them back.
Bring him on, baby, bring him on. Let's get our first call of the day on.
Okay. We have Terry from St. Anne in Illinois.
Hello, Terry. How are you today?
Oh, Leo, I'm just fine.
I see.
I have a question.
Okay.
I have
get
three
right to it.
external hard drive units.
All right.
Two of them are 250 gigabyte and one's 200.
Okay.
One of the 250 gigabyte only shows 145 total gigabytes on the in the properties.
Right. So you're going to the hard drive, you're right-clicking on it, you're selecting properties.
Right, or either that or it says the total size as soon as I open up my computer thing.
Right.
It's
I want you to be very careful about what you're looking at. So you are looking at, when you do the properties, capacity, right?
yes.
That's the number that says the total space. And there's a, by the way, important to distinguish the short version and the long version. If you look at the long version, it says 15,718,473,728 bytes. So that seems like that should be 15.7 gigabytes. In fact, it's just 14.6 gigabytes. Where's the confusion? Well, this is decimal bytes, and this is binary bytes, so it's a smaller number. But that kind of difference wouldn't account for a 250 megabyte or gigabyte hard drive showing up as 145.
Right. It's almost like a 160 gigabyte, but it's a little bit less than a 160 gigabyte would show up.
There are hard drive limitations, and you can even have limitations in external cases if the case itself isn't capable of seeing more than, in this case, it would be 138 gigabytes would be the limit. Which might show up as 145, again, depending on which of these two numbers you look at. If you're looking at the decimal number, then it would say 145, but it might say, 120, 138 in the binary number. So that's my suspicion, is that you just don't have the capability of seeing a bigger hard drive in this controller.
That's a possibility, but it came as a unit. It's
so you bought it.
Western Digital,
and
my book.
Oh, so it's a MyBook, and it's a 250 gig MyBook, and you're using the existing MyBook external case.
Yes.
Oh, well, then that can't be it. My goodness. When you first plugged it in, did it say 250 gigabytes?
No. Well, it may have. I don't recall.
Yeah, who would look, right?
Right.
You just assume.
I don't recall when I first plugged it in.
So we don't know what it's came. It's very possible that it's actually not a 250 gig drive. Have you opened it up to look?
No, it's kind of difficult to get in there to open it up. I haven't, but the serial number or the model number indicates that it would be a 250 gigabytes.
Well, I'm thinking maybe at the factory they made a mistake and they put a 145 gig hard drive in there. I mean, I think that's very possible, and I would bring it back to where you bought it and said, dudes, have you tried plugging it in on another machine just to see?
No, I haven't. No.
There's other possibilities. All of these are negative, one of which is that the drive itself is failing. One of the things modern drives do is as sectors go bad on the drive, they map them out. They say, well, don't use that, don't use that, don't use that. And you'll see a dramatic shrinkage in the drive capacity. That's quite dramatic. That's almost half.
Yeah, it's possible, but I've only had this unit for about 3 months.
Well, that's good news. It's probably still under warranty. I think this is a case of bringing it back to Western Digital or whoever you bought it from and saying, hey, either you've got the wrong drive in here or there's something wrong with it.
I looked at my other two, and they're a little low, but, I know you...
Well, I'll tell you, you
need 4 gigabytes for the that.
Yeah, no, that's too much. 100 gigabytes is too much to have lost to anything. Yeah. And you give me any 100 hard drives, 1 or 2 of them are going to fail. And you got the one. It sounds like either or maybe they just put the wrong one in.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, I would take it back. It's nothing you're doing. Because it's an external drive, it's nothing about your operating system. It's a USB drive, so the operating system sees what the USB enclosure is reporting. So it's their problem because it's all happening in their unit. They can't blame it on Windows or anything else.
Okay.
I would take it back.
Thank you very much, Leo.
All right, Terry, and you tell him Leo said, take it back. I watched.
They'll say Leo who?
No, they'll say, oh, yes, sir, Terry. Right away, Terry. We wouldn't want that.
Get that in the United States too, by the way.
Oh, thank you, sir. We're working very hard on making this show appealing to a U.S. network, and I think it's just a matter of time.
I think it was very appealing to screensavers.
I thought so. But these networks, what are you going to do?
That's true.
What are you going to do? Thank you, Terry. Take care. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Take care. Do you have trouble tackling big tasks? I do. Maybe have trouble focusing on one task at a time? I do. Maybe have problems spending more time on one task than you should spend? Merlin Mann is here. Mr. Productivity. He's my guru. We'll show you what he suggests you can do with timers. Stay right here.
I could have this moment for life. 'Cause in this moment I just feel so alive. 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 I wish that I could have this moment for life. For life. For life.
Sometimes it feels good to use more.
Uh-oh, I gotta go.
And other times you can get that same feeling while using less. Like with Charmin Ultra Soft. It's so soft you'll have to remind your family they can use less. Charmin Ultra Soft is made with extra cushions that are soft and more absorbent. Plus, you can use 4 times less.
much better. We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Canada's softest bath tissue?
Luna Rossa, the new fragrance from Prada.
A Febreze experiment. To prove Febreze can keep this car fresh, we loaded it with fast food, sweaty hockey gear, and a smelly dog cage, and parked it at a mall in Texas for 2 days. Then put a Febreze car vent clip on the dash and let in real people.
It smells good. Like laundry fresh out of like the dryer.
Yeah.
A man fresh out of the shower.
Nailed it.
Ooh, yeah.
Proof Febreze car vent clips keep your car fresh. Another way Febreze helps you breathe happy.
Once upon a time, people came from all over to get a free Kindle Paperwhite e-reader. They simply got a new smartphone on select 3-year plans from Rogers and read happily ever after. But hurry, this story ends soon.
Oh, I tell you, I am a terrible procrastinator. I put stuff off. I can find any excuse to just not do something. I'm so easily distracted. And it could be anything. It could be solitaire. It could be web surfing. It could be channel surfing. It could be, a sticky note on the ceiling. Anything. If you're like me, you might want to watch this carefully. We've got Merlin Mann here to help you. He is the magician, the guru, the man who can make anybody productive. From 43folders.com. And I don't believe this, but you say that you can make people productive with timers.
Well, it's a geek problem.
It is.
I can't believe you suffer from this.
We all do.
It's a geek. Have you heard how many distracted geeks it takes to change a light bulb?
How many?
Let's ride bikes. But anyway, the trouble is that for a lot of us, we are very easily distracted, and any kind of little shiny piece of metal that enters into the corner of our eye will take us running off in a direction. And so one of the ideas behind timers is you kind of make it easy for yourself. Sean distracted me.
Oh, he's distracted.
It's true.
One thing the TV teaches you, though, is to focus. But I think that's the other thing is that when you're not required to focus, it is very easy to get distracted.
Well, so one of the best things you can do is to kind of say to yourself, you know what, I understand this is a problem, it's something I need to deal with. And so one way to deal with that is to kind of give yourself just a little bit of constraint in such a way that you can stay focused on what you're doing. So if you say to yourself, you say to yourself, you know what, I don't have to do this for a month, I have to do this for 5 minutes. I've got to do it. And so one of the things we do, we talk about this on 43 Folders all the time. What I want to show you today is how to do what I call a procrastination dash.
Okay, now this is on a Mac, but it will work on any computer.
It'll work on a Mac. I'm going to see, this is where what am I doing?
Orthogonal.
I'm going orthogonal.
Yep.
I'm going to show you how, international symbol. I'm going to show you how to do a procrastination dash using some very cool little Mac timers that I like a lot.
The procrastination dash.
The procrastination dash.
It's the dance all the geeks are doing.
It's true. The sad, and then they get distracted and they leave.
Right. They never finish the dash.
They never finish the dance. The idea behind a procrastination dash is that there's something you've been putting off. And the thing is, we've all got something that we feel guilty about, we feel terrible.
I can tell you right now, I can think of 4 things right off the top of my head that I have to do, haven't done, and
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are you in a shame spiral?
I'm in a shame spiral.
Okay, all right.
I am ashamed. In fact, every time I think about it, I go, oh.
Yeah. So that's part of the problem is you develop this, not to get too psychological about this because I'm not a licensed therapist, but part of the problem is that you get very emotional about this and you don't even want to start it. Right?
No, it's painful
and as you know,
to think about it.
We've talked about this book, The Now Habit.
Right.
One of the things I talk about in this book is the idea of persistent starting and make it easy. If there's some project that you've been putting off, just a little ramp up. So the procrastination dash is our way of saying, I'm going to give myself this sense of security. And I'm going to say to myself, all I've got to do is go work on this thing for a very, very trivially short period of time.
Do you think we don't want to do it because we're afraid we'll get sucked into it and we'll take too long?
There's a million reasons. A lot of people are perfectionists, where they feel like as soon as they've done something wrong, they've done everything wrong.
You've ruined it.
Right. Or some people feel they have a fear of the anxiety of just the sense that they're not going to get it done. And so one thing to think about is
this is to make it easy on yourself. It's almost a psychological support.
That's right. To give yourself kind of these, because part of the problem with this is that we're all kind of raised to feel bad about feeling bad about this.
Yes.
And so, in the way that we have been taught to attack that is to kind of beat ourselves up about it and have this fatherly voice.
Which means nothing gets done.
Yeah. So don't hit yourself with a belt. Just say to yourself, I am going to work on this for 5 minutes.
Get a timer.
Let's look at a couple timers. One I'm going to start with is a pretty neat little app.
A lot of these are widgets that would come with a desktop or a dashboard.
There's a million great dashboard widgets. These are all the 3 that we're going to look at today are Mac applications. The first one is one called Meridian. And Meridian is a kind of so this runs as a menu addition up here. As you can see, I've set my clock back a couple months so that
just
for
because it makes
demonstration
you
purposes.
feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
To think we're still in December.
Because we're definitely in January.
Otherwise we would really be way behind. Okay.
That'd be really embarrassing. But so you can do things like, for example, let's say you work with folks who are in different time zones, and you want to make sure you hit your deadline. You can make these neat little floating clocks. These are very old school Mac.
They're pretty.
Yeah, and you can make these digital, or you can make them whatever kind you want. You have an extensive preferences menu that you can go into that's going to give you all kinds of ways to trick this stuff out. The three major kinds of things you can do is you can make clocks, you can make alarms, and you can make timers. So
now I have to point out, and this is a very common complaint. A lot of times we spend a lot of time messing around with things so we can get more things done, but we spend so much time messing around with the things that help us get things done, we don't ever get anything done.
Yeah.
Is this one of those?
I didn't really hear the question. I was thinking
because it seems like there's a lot of settings. All we want is a timer, right?
See, you sound like Scott Bourne, because you're right. You could just get a kitchen timer. But what I like about this is you can do these neat little presets. So for myself, 8 minutes is a good amount of time to work on something.
So you got a preset timer.
I've created one called the 8-minute dash, where basically all I have to do is go and hit this, and for 8 minutes, I don't do anything else. I can unplug the router.
And you stop at the end of 8 minutes, no matter what, or do you keep going?
Well, the dirty little secret is sometimes you discover that now that you don't feel so bad about it, it's easy to stick with it.
Okay.
But it's real. Here's a little quick demo I made for you. This one's just 6 seconds long.
I could do anything for 6 seconds.
You can do almost anything. I'm bored. Let's go play Galaga. But you get a nice little pop-up menu, and then it tells you how long you've been working on that. So anyway, that is called Meridian, and I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's very lovely.
Suggest setting a timer for a short amount of time that it doesn't seem so difficult, so imposing, and just doing it for that amount.
And the way to figure out if you've done it for the right amount of time is if it seems asinine. If it seems like an amount of time that is so ridiculous that you can't believe it's such a short period of time and you're embarrassed to even work on it for such a short period of time, that's the perfect amount of time.
Good. Right.
Because what's the problem? If you could have gotten it done in another way, you would have.
Right.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be procrastinating.
Right.
So make that ramp up really easy. That's Meridian. I think it's really cool. I want to show you another one.
Is that free?
It is. Meridian is, oh gosh, you're going to get me on the spot here. I think Meridian costs. I want to say Meridian's $19.95, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, license key, so it must cost something.
That's right.
That's fine.
I want to show you one I like a lot. This is from France.
I've used this one, Minuet. Minuteur. But I use it to cook tea.
It's perfect for tea. It's perfect for tea.
So Minuteur probably is a better use.
Have you spent much time with the UI on this, the crazy UI?
A little bit. Go ahead,
show us. The UI is a little wild. This was another one that does something kind of similar, but I think in kind of a simpler way. You open up Minuteur, and let's say I start typing. I type 1500. For 15 minutes, that automatically sets a timer for 15 minutes and starts the countdown. In a recent version, they've added something that I love, which is this little bar here that slowly, let me get a shorter amount of time in here. Let me get 1 minute in here. And you'll see what happens is that slowly fills up as you get closer to the end of it.
I like that.
So you don't have to necessarily be staring at a number.
That's a nice feeling.
It's very nice. And have you seen this layout? You can go and change the amount by just dragging.
Ooh.
Just like a little kitchen timer.
So I want a little darker tea. There we go.
There you go. Perfect. This also does stopwatches. It does count up. It does whatever you want it to do.
It is a really neat. I mean, you wouldn't think somebody put a lot of effort into a timer, but if you're gonna.
And this developer it really keeps adding little neat features.
Because there's new features since I've seen it last.
That's right. That's right. And so I really like this one, like you say, for very simple timing tasks. You can have it like almost all of these share something that I like a lot, which is you can have it float above your other windows.
Right. So it's always present.
In the case of Meridian, you can actually have it be part of your desktop. So it doesn't interact. It doesn't take clicks. And so if you want to just check expose sometimes to see how much time is left in your countdown, you can do that.
You know what happened?
Very easy. What happened?
We ran out of time.
No way. You are lying to me.
I'm not lying to you. Do you have one more real quick you want to show?
I got a very quick one. This is the one. So the best kind of procrastination dash you can do is one where you work really hard for 10 minutes and then you schedule 2 minutes of screwing around time.
I love that.
You do that 5 times in an hour and you got 50 minutes. This is a program that will actually run that. It'll run this for you. You do work for 10 minutes, take 2 minutes to go screw around and read /dot and come back and start all over again.
I like that.
And it runs continuously as a cycle. You can use this for yoga. You can use this for organizing your comic books, whatever it is. This will help you talk.
What's the name of that one?
Oh, you need to know the name? Well, it's called Flex Time.
Flex Time. Since we are so flexible. From redsweater.com. Obviously, this is a knitter's clock.
It is
It's for knitting. Really good advice, and the applications are simple. They're equivalent to applications on Windows. The point is, time yourself and get going, because you're never going to finish it if you don't start. And it's starting.
When in doubt, don't fiddle. Just go do something. A little bit of action.
A little bit of action goes a long way. If you're looking to get more dirt on Merlin Mann and find out what really makes him tick, 43folders.com is a great site. You can also hear him on our Mac Break Weekly podcast, and he has his own 43 Folders podcast Really great. More Mac Timer tips online, including links to all the programs at callforhelptv.com. Now, let's not get too far out of schedule. We've got to head to today's tech trivia question right now. Which TV news personality helped founded Space.com? Lou Dobbs, Ted Koppel, John Roberts, or Ed the Sock Puppet? Get to the website, give us the answer, we'll talk about it. But Call for Help continues.
Marjorie, I can't stand you. Even the inside of your dishwasher sparkles.
Oh,
it's
probably
Whoa, kitchen counselor. See, new Cascade Platinum is unlike finished gel. It not only cleans your dishes, it helps keep your dishwasher sparkling. New Cascade Platinum.
Why do more emergency workers everywhere trust Duracell? Duralock Power Preserve locks in power for up to 10 years in storage. Now guaranteed. Duracell with Duralock. Trusted everywhere.
Most people think more about how they brush than what they brush with, until I show them the new Oral-B Pro Health Clinical ProFlex brush. Its ProFlex sides adjust to teeth and gums for a better clean. No wonder Oral-B is the brand more dentists choose. The new Pro Health Clinical ProFlex brush.
Once upon a time, people came from all over to get a free Kindle Paperwhite e-reader. They simply got a new smartphone on select 3-year plans from Rogers and read happily ever after. But hurry, this story ends soon.
To prove Febreze can keep this car fresh, we filled it with smelly odors, then installed a car vent clip and let in real people.
Smells good. Like laundry fresh out of the dryer, a man fresh out of the shower. Nailed it.
Proof Febreze car vent clips keep your car fresh. Breathe happy.
This year, one truck drives alone. It's the one with best-in-class fuel economy of 36 miles per gallon. The one with a class-exclusive 8-speed transmission. The one changing the truck landscape. The all-new 2013 Ram 1500. The only one that can call itself 2013 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Guts, glory, Ram.
Attention citizens. The Subway restaurant's Super Morning Squad is getting ready to offer you a super $3 breakfast. They've joined forces to save your day with a scrumptious 6-inch cheese omelet sandwich made with your choice of toppings and a 12-ounce cup of coffee, all for just $3. Fly on over for your own super breakfast today. Subway, eat fresh.
Marjorie, I can't stand you. Even the inside of your dishwasher sparkles.
Oh, it's probably
Whoa, kitchen counselor. See, new Cascade Platinum is unlike finished gel. It not only cleans your dishes, it helps keep your dishwasher sparkling. New Cascade Platinum.
I love Merlin, man. He is so ADD, he's so distracted. It's so much fun to work with him because his mind is running so fast. I can see why productivity has become his thing. As is often the case, I think, sometimes they say in the software industry, you scratch your own itch. He's doing it because he needs to, right?
Right.
Now, how are you on productivity? You pretty good at getting things done, Callie?
I'm pretty good. Lately,
Yeah.
I've been a little scatterbrained, and so I'm expecting Merlin to help me out through that.
I think what
But,
happens
yeah, I'm pretty good.
is the business we're in, and I don't mean TV, I mean technology, makes you a little scattered.
Right.
There's so much input coming in all the time.
So much information.
And as you start to really pay attention to it, which you need to do for your job,
Right.
it can get like, make you crazy.
Yeah.
Right? And then we're not very good. We love it. That's part of the problem. So we're not very good at shutting it off and calming down and doing something else.
Yeah, like I said, or like a one show ago or 2 show goes, I don't know.
You see, it all is a blur, isn't it?
I can't sit still
Yep.
because I always want to find out what's going on.
Right. We're like overexcited kids in a candy shop, and 24 hours a day we're just like, oh boy, what's new, what's cool. So I think that that's an occupational hazard. But
Yeah.
you know what? It's not such a bad fate.
No,
I
it's
like
not.
It's fun. Hey, let's get another caller on the show. Here.
Absolutely. How about Michael from Keswick, Ontario?
Thank you, Callie. Hello, Michael.
Hi.
I hear you have a tough problem.
I do have a tough problem.
Let's hear what your story is, and we'll see what we can do. We got a big brain trust here today. So.
Okay. Well, we started a computer programming club in our high school.
Okay.
And we're receiving a wireless internet from the school.
Okay.
And we want to share it with the group of computers that we're using.
But not all of them are wireless.
Not all of them are wireless, and we don't really have the budget to put them on wirelessly.
Okay.
So we got a network hub, and we want to use internet connection sharing.
Oh, I see. So you have one wireless computer. You'd like it to get the internet through its wireless port.
Yeah.
And then use ICS on Windows to share it through a hub or through a router?
Through a network switch.
Through a switch?
Yeah.
To all the other computers?
Yeah.
So,
the problem that I'm having is that I'm getting a .0, 192.168.0 IP address from the wireless connection.
Right, you're getting a that would make sense. The wireless connection is assigning you a single IP address on the network. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
When you use internet connection sharing, it's having conflicts with the
and you can't tell the wireless guy, the guy who runs the router, you can't tell him to assign you a dedicated number?
We haven't been able to get him to. He's not cooperating with us.
He won't cooperate. Okay, so the problem is we've got a default address. It's going to be some address, and we want to distribute it. But the problem is that address 192.168.1.2 or whatever it is conflicts with it gets reassigned.
Yeah.
Will not ICS do its own DHCP thing? Will it not assign addresses?
Yeah, but it only does .0 whatever the computer.
Okay, so you can't tell it to assign a number in a certain range.
Yeah, I haven't been able to figure that one out.
Because that would solve it, obviously, right? If you could say only assign numbers in the range of 20 through 40 to avoid the incoming. Boy, that's interesting. It should. That's very puzzling. Let me see if we can figure this out. I mean, I haven't used ICS in some time, but let me just look at as we go through the thing. I mean, you've got really, I think, everything you need. You've got an incoming connection. You've got an assigned IP address.
Yeah.
You've got ICS working. You've got to have it assign IP addresses to all the other computers.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's not working. Okay, to me, this seems like it should work.
Yeah,
I don't see why ICS would reuse that number. Now, what you should do though is tell ICS that the gateway address is that 192.168.0. whatever.
Yeah.
You are doing that.
It's set as we set on a static on our main computer, like internet incoming computer.
And you're telling it that the gateway is that one address.
Yeah. But
it still tries to reassign that address to one of the other computers.
Yeah. It won't even allow it to.
All right. Well, here's what I suggest: turn off DHCP and assign static addresses all the way across the board.
Okay.
You should be able to do that as well. Normally, you want it to assign. There's two ways to work. In fact, in the old days, this is how we would do it. There's two ways to work. One is that you have you're turning your computer into a router when you're using ICS.
Yeah.
So one way is to tell the router, okay, you're in charge. Make sure there's no conflict. Assign addresses to all the other machines you're connecting to. The problem is it's not doing it right. So what you do is you say, you're not in charge. All you do is you bridge an internet connection, and then, or actually you route an internet connection, and I'll assign the numbers, thank you very much. That means you have to go to each computer on the network, and instead of saying automatically get an IP address, you have to tell it its IP address.
Right.
You 192.168.1.20. You're .30. You're .40. You're .50.
But when I go to assign when I go to enable internet connection sharing, it says there's conflicts and it won't even allow me to enable it.
Oh, it won't even let you enable it. I'm not sure. You guys have any thought? That's bizarre.
I would say, well, first of all, ICS is completely
never worked well.
Completely buggy.
Right.
So, I mean, you are flogging a dead horse here, I think, Michael.
Okay.
Number two, I mean, so the source connection, though, this guy is not going to help you other than giving you a wireless signal. Is that correct?
Well, I believe he's using internet sharing when he's broadcasting it.
So he may not have any choice either.
Yeah, he may not. See, what I would do in a scenario like you, I'd get him to jack into a power line connector and push the internet connection out through the electrical system in your school.
There's a thought. If he doesn't want to do that, of course, you're out of luck, but that's one way to do it.
That'd be one way to do it, absolutely.
Okay. Any ideas, Mr. Carruthers?
The only thing I can think of is...
We're just giving you alternatives, Michael, because we don't really know.
If you have a little bit of a budget, maybe buy a wireless router and use that as the incoming wireless signal and then send it out through the ports on the back of that. Send it into bridge mode.
Okay.
That's actually a good idea. In other words, use the wireless router, buy a wireless router with ports.
Right.
Instead of the switch you're using.
Okay.
And allow it to accept the incoming connection and bridge to those other guys. In other words, do nothing, let that, and then one hopes that your guy upstream is assigning IP addresses.
Yeah.
He may not be. We don't know what he's doing, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Michael, this is why you're a student. You learn this. I'm going to give you an A+ certificate right off the bat. You know what you're doing. It's the kind of thing that you got to tackle. It's a very unusual setup. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I doubt there's anyone else watching this show that's doing the same thing. But it's kind of an interesting challenge.
Yeah.
And basically, you've stumped the brain trust. That's the best. Mike, you got any idea? No, Mike's running away. He's so scared he doesn't want to. Callie, any thoughts? I think we're just going to say we don't know. Okay? We don't know what's going on.
That's a lot once in a while.
We tried. We gave you some ideas. Good luck.
All right. Thanks.
That's the best you can get. What do you want for nothing? Rubber biscuit? If you use Gmail, pay close attention. Callie Lewis is here with some ways to customize your Gmail, make it more powerful. Scripting your Gmail? Yes. Stay right here. We'll find out all about it.
This is one way to keep your underwear clean. This is another. Ta-da! Try Charmin Ultra Strong. It cleans so well, and you can use up to 4 times less than the Bird brand.
Oh, there it is. Thanks, son.
Hey!
Charmin Ultra Strong has a DuraClean texture that can help you get clean while still using less. And it's 4 times stronger versus the Bird brand.
Charmin Ultra Strong helps keep you and your underwear clean. We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin Ultra Strong?
Luna Rossa, the new fragrance from Prada.
Once upon a time, people came from all over to get a free Kindle Paperwhite e-reader. They simply got a new smartphone on select 3-year plans from Rogers and read happily ever after. But hurry, this story ends soon.
Is this an 07 or an 09?
Wait, what?
I've been thinking about buying one just like this. Is it good on gas?
Yeah? Why don't you just use Auto Trader?
Owner reviews. There's thousands of them.
Yeah.
It's got a 4.5 star rating.
Pop the hood. Is that your dad?
Yeah.
Autotrader.ca, the better way to buy and sell cars.
I don't use Gmail. Isn't that funny? But I tell you, every once in a while I run into somebody who said, have you used Gmail? It's so great. It's got XYZ feature. You know who did that the other day to me? Amber MacArthur, who has traditionally used Apple Mail, said, Gmail, it's great. Now, Amber's known about Gmail for years, but there's something that comes over people. Eventually they go, this is great. It's Google's mail application. Of course, it is getting better all the time.
Yes.
Callie, you're a Gmail fanatic.
I am.
You're one of them.
And I even use hosted Gmail so that you can have at yours. So if you use hosted Gmail, you could have leo@twit.tv.
And they would host
I think it has to be a .com actually.
Okay, but they would host it for you, and all the mail would go to them.
Correct.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
So it's a great, and
fact,
you can
I
have
could see
even
that
your
you've
own
got-
little logo here.
You've got the Geek Brief mail.
Yeah. So I love it because you can tag things and you can label things in other applications as well. But I don't know, the whole experience is great.
I think that's it. I think it's hard for anybody to say exactly why, but it's a polished overall feeling, and it just once you click on it, it really works for you. I guess it just hasn't clicked
I'm
for
just
me.
waiting for that moment for you.
I tell
To
you.
hear you say on Twit, Leo
I
it.
tell you, I have a very elaborate mail setup. I don't know if Gmail could accommodate me. Now you have enhanced it quite a bit with some scripts here.
Yes.
Let's see
So
what you're doing.
The first one, I'm really loving this because
This may be it. This might push me over the edge.
Okay. This first one is called. I just blanked on that. They're all Gmail conversation preview.
Now, where'd you get this from?
This is all Grease Monkey scripts.
Oh, I love Grease Monkey.
So
you have to install the Grease Monkey
install
extension.
Grease Monkey, and you can see
Which is
that
a
the Grease
Firefox
Monkey is active
extension.
right here at the bottom.
Okay.
And so just do that first, and then you can install any of these scripts that you want. But remember, the more scripts you do, the more time that the slower it's going to get.
Right.
I'm trying.
So this is called Conversation Stopper?
Preview.
Conversation Preview. Okay. So a conversation in Gmail terms, your right click's not working, is it? The conversation in Gmail terms, what's going on?
Come on.
Hit the escape key just once, just to make sure you're not in some weird mode. Oh, it's like your mouse is doing something strange.
That's odd.
You can't left click.
Okay, well, what you're supposed to be able to do...
Refresh the page, maybe.
Is...
That's the strangest things I ever saw. A conversation in Gmail is an email with the same subject line, right? A reply to. There we go. So reply to, all the way down.
Correct, and it stays in the same email so that you can keep track of all of that.
Is that the ones that are highlighted by a color? Those are all the same?
That's a different script.
That's different, okay.
Yeah, this is a conversation preview. So you just right-click on an email so you can see what that new conversation is about, or
Look
what
at
that new email is about.
And so it gives you all the information.
So, yeah, this is, oops, I probably shouldn't have opened this one with all the IP address.
Oh, we're going to see too much about. All right, let's find something that's safe
here we
to
go. So this is a boutique cafe.
So you can actually read it without opening the mail.
You can read it without opening the mail, and this saves me a lot of time because there are a lot of pieces that I don't have to open.
Right.
So it just saves me, so I can go ahead and hit archive or hit trash, so that it's just quick and fast.
A quick way
and
to
the
preview
ones
your
that you
email.
want to, you can leave unread, and then that's unread. So the next one is Gmail Colorizer.
That's right, how you get that pretty color.
And this is just labels the different colors. So depending on your label is the different color. Now, this only has like 5 colors. So you can actually go into the About config and edit the colors for the different labels.
Okay.
So go ahead and do that.
That makes it really fast to find mail on a certain topic. You see all the light purple mail is all on the same topic.
Right.
Yeah.
And that helps you sort, and even better than labels.
Yeah.
Now this is consistent searches. These are our recent searches. You can set the preferences to 3 recent searches or the 5 recent searches. That way, because I tend to search for the same things over and over again, right? So this way you
So these
can,
are, it's saving your searches.
It is.
Oh, that's
now it's all based on, it's all loaded on a cache, so you can't go from computer to computer and get that, but on the same computer. And I won't even say why we're searching for Miss Dewey.
I know why you're searching for Miss Dewey.
So those are the 3 of my favorites. And like I said, you don't want to do too many, but
Are there more?
Customize them. Oh, there are lots more. Yeah.
Grease Monkey's powerful.
Grease Monkey is powerful.
I haven't really put it on my system because I'm a little afraid of. I mean, it's such a substantial change to the way Firefox works. But you find it to be reliable and useful, and doesn't slow you down that much.
Not that much.
Yeah. Grease Monkey, and 3 very useful tools for Gmail. For links to the scripts and to Gmonkey, go to Call for Help TV. Gmonkey. Grease Monkey. I just shortened it.
Yeah,
go to callforhelptv.com if you want to see Callie's work on the internet. Geekbrief.tv. Meanwhile, let's see what they're doing in the control room. I wish we had a little script we could animate and change colors on the control room, guys. We have to work on that.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this.
10, 9, on the icon, 7, 6, ready commercials, 4, 3, roll commercial, back, 1, fade to black.
It's what your soup wants. So add some plus. Also available in whole wheat and 5 grains.
Hunger getting to you? Try new Ritz Crackerfuls, a tasty snack to help tide you over. Made with cheddar cheese and whole grain. New Ritz Crackerfuls. Get hunger before it gets you.
Hold on to your butts.
Jurassic Park 3D in theaters Friday.
Once upon a time, people came from all over to get a free Kindle Paperwhite e-reader. They simply got a new smartphone on select 3-year plans from Rogers and read happily ever after. But hurry, this story ends soon.
How do you get your bounce? I just stick the bar in the dryer like this, and it freshens my laundry for me, so I don't have to think. Wait, what was the question?
How do you get your bounce?
Stick it and forget it.
Sometimes it feels good to use more.
Uh-oh, I gotta go.
And other times you can get that same feeling while using less. Like with Charmin Ultra Soft. It's so soft you'll have to remind your family they can use less. Charmin Ultra Soft is made with extra cushions that are soft and more absorbent. Plus, you can use 4 times less.
Much better. We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Canada's softest bath tissue?
Luna Rossa, the new fragrance from Prada.
Bop, bop. All right, I like those scripts, but I'm still not quite sold on Gmail.
I'll find a way to convert you, Leo. I'll find a way.
I'll find a way to convert you yet. I mean, I can see why you like it. I think one of the reasons people like it is it's a web-based email, which means your email is the same wherever you go. And I like that. That's why I use IMAP, which is same idea. And I can go on the web. I use a company called Fastmail for this and look at my mail. But also I can use standard email clients like Apple Mail or Outlook, and it will download it. Actually doesn't download it. It will actually open up a window into it, and so I can use it on as a desktop desktop email as well as internet email. And so I get the best of both worlds. You could do that with Gmail. Sense. You could download your Gmail.
Yeah.
So it's not so different. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned. Hey, let's get our next caller on, shall we?
Okay. We have Philippe from Gatineau, Quebec.
It's not that I don't like Gmail. I have 4 or 5 Gmail accounts, and I use it, but it's not my primary email.
Sure.
Hello, Philippe. Welcome to Call for Help.
Oui, bonjour, Monsieur Laporte.
Bonjour. Ça va bien, et tu?
Yes, très bien, merci. I'm calling regarding the release of the PlayStation 3.
Yes.
Sony had promised that this next-gen console would be like the mother of all entertainment device and would sit in the center of your living room and do just about anything you wanted to do, except maybe act as a toaster. And so far, I've been having trouble finding out if the console can actually stream media from your computer.
Not yet.
Not yet, eh?
Now, that doesn't mean it won't, and I think you're absolutely right. I think Sony is probably looking at Microsoft and their Xbox 360, which can, and is saying, we got to get going, guys. But Sony, remember, is way behind. They're a year behind on PlayStation 3. Now, I have to say, as we record this, PlayStation 3 has just been out for a little while, so nobody knows everything it can do, nor have we seen any firmware updates. Well, actually, there is a firmware update you apply when you first get it, but there hasn't been any substantial changes to the way it works since then.
Okay.
The PS3 is, of course, a set-top box. I think that's what Microsoft's plan is, and I think that's what Sony's plan is. What does that mean, a set-top box? It means it's a media center. It's not just for playing games. Look, they put a Blu-ray player in it.
That's right.
They want you to hook it up to your TV.
Yeah.
There's no question that they plan ultimate. And right now, you can. They have media. They have a slot, so you could put a Magic Stick or an SD card, or and that can have pictures on it. And if it's in the right folder and so forth, it'll play it. I think
they do out of the box. The console does force you to copy your media onto their hard drive, which to me makes absolutely no sense. It's as if Sony didn't recognize that we had PCs in our home.
Right, and you'd think, but they know because they make VIOs. You'd think that they'd have some sort of integration. That's what Microsoft's done so well with Xbox 360 and XP Media Center or Vista Media Center, is that they talk to each other. But one of the reasons they talk to each other is that there's a little program you install on the Windows side. I think it's very, very conceivable that Sony will, sometime in the near future, in fact, I would say it's almost 100% certainty, release some sort of little application you run on your PC and update the firmware of the PS3, and suddenly it will have that kind of access. Now, it has a network built in. So it could do that. It doesn't have Wi-Fi built in, but it has a network built in. It has USB. I mean, it has all the hardware it would need. It just currently doesn't have the software it would need, I'm afraid.
Okay, so right now, I guess if
one
is looking for a next-gen console that will do amazing games, but on top of it will do a media center extender, then the solution is the 360, I guess.
Yeah, in fact, I think this is really a problem for Sony. They couldn't get enough PlayStation 3s into the market. They sold fewer than 200,000 in the first year in 2006. A huge disappointment. Xbox 360 has been out for a year already. They've sold more than 6 million of them. I think they've got an HD DVD player on them now.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft has a huge lead in this. And by the way, I think games like Gears of War and the new Halo 3 look every bit as good as any game on PlayStation 3.
Oh, absolutely. I think out of the box, both will display graphics that are pretty much equal, right?
Stunning.
Okay.
So all I can say is I bet you Sony will do it, but they haven't yet. Who wants to bet on Sony? Microsoft has done it, does it well. You can now even buy TV. You probably can't do it in Canada yet, but in the States you can buy TV shows on your Xbox account and put them on your Xbox and watch them. I've been watching Studio 60 that way, $1.99 a show. You can rent even high-def movies, and they download over the internet. Microsoft is way ahead.
Wow. They actually download those, or they're streamed directly?
They download them, but you can start watching them after a certain amount is downloaded.
Okay.
And they're large. I mean, this is one problem Microsoft's got to face. By the time this show airs, I bet you they'll have solved this, but right now they only have a 20-gig hard drive.
Yep.
And the TV shows, an hour-long TV show, they're in 480p, they're about 500 megabytes. If you download an HD movie, and there are only a handful of them, I can't remember, but I think it's 4 or 5 gigabytes.
That's right.
So you're only going to have 3 movies on there, right?
Yeah.
So they've got to work on that. They are rentals. You only can watch them for, I think, 3 days.
Okay.
But the point is that they're at least working on this.
Okay.
And Sony is nowhere near it.
Yeah.
I think it's a compelling reason. If you have to choose, if you have an HD TV right now and you want an HD TV gaming system, I think, besides the fact you can't get a PlayStation 3, I think that the Xbox 360 is absolutely the way to go.
Well, I thank you very much for your advice.
Thanks, Philippe.
And thanks, you guys put on a good show.
Well, we're so glad you watch.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
If you're a keyboard-centric Mac user, somebody doesn't want to take his hand off the keyboard and use the mouse, and really, if you're a fast worker, that's a lot of you, Mike has a great program that lets you access all your windows by using the keyboard instead of the mouse.
Yep. It's called Witch, and
I love Witch.
Oh. I thought I was showing you something new.
Oh, no, we already have the control tab that'll switch between applications.
Yeah.
But the problem on the Mac is, how do you switch between windows in an application?
Well, that's exactly it. So on the screen I have pulled up right now, I have what you normally see when you push the
This
Apple
is Command
key.
Tab, Command Tab, yeah.
And you can switch through your applications.
And Windows does this too, and this is great.
Yeah, absolutely, it's great. But you know what? Quite frankly, I have maybe Windows minimized, or I want a particular window that I have selected. So you can select hotkeys that determine what does certain things.
Oh, no, see, I haven't done this with Witch yet.
So you can select the foremost applications, what windows it has open.
Right.
You can select minimized applications, so only stuff that's been minimized in your system dock. So for instance, I'll do the minimized one, which is Shift 1 there. So you can see these are all applications that I have minimized.
Oh, neat.
No, I haven't. These aren't the minimized ones. But anyhow, here's the minimized ones.
You've made it so complicated.
Yeah. Here's the minimized one. So for instance, if I wanted to go to your forum index, I'll just select that. Boom, it opens up that window as opposed to just an application.
That's just scratching the surface. This program lets you very quickly, with Command Tab style commands, open windows, move. I mean, this is great.
You can customize colors, the background, the foreground.
That's got to cost a lot. How much money is that?
You know what, Leo? It's as much as I would pay for it.
Which is?
Absolutely nothing.
Because you're cheap.
Absolutely.
I'd pay a lot more, but it is in fact free, which is a great program. It's from a wonderful programmer, the guy who did Butler. Peter Moore is his name, and he's one of the best Mac programmers out there, and I love it that he gives
really
this
nicely
away.
done. Really works quite well.
Yeah. He also did Text Expander, which I'm a big fan of.
Oh, he sold it off, didn't he?
He sold it, now it's Text Expander. But anyway, he's a great programmer, which is a must download. If you like our free files, go to our website. We've got lots more. CallForHelpTV.com. So, when they say the word bitrate, what do you think of? Huh? Have you ever wondered what this multimedia metric means when you're encoding MP3s or videos? What's the bitrate? What's the bitrate, Kenneth? Well, Andy Walker is going to take a trip to the bakery and be back with tasty treats to explain it all right after the break. But first, one more chance to taste technology with our quiz question of the day. Which TV news personality helped found Space.com? Was it Lou Dobbs, Ted Koppel, John Roberts, or Ed the Sock Puppet? Get to the website, give us the answer. We'll talk about it. When Call for Help continues.
Once upon a time, people came from all over to get a free Kindle Paperwhite e-reader. They simply got a new smartphone on select 3-year plans from Rogers and read happily ever after. But hurry, this story ends soon.
Professionals, we salute you. The ones who take on many roles to get every job done the right way. The professional workhorses. The professional earth movers. The professional power generators. So if you're the type that wants to do everything like a professional, then stop driving an amateur's truck. The GMC Sierra HD. We are professional grade.
Hey guys! To start it off, to say the things unsaid. We toast this alive, we break and share this bread. At least we know we'll never be alone. Yeah, we got these bones all here in one place. We weather every storm, we bend but never break. And we'll be singing,
You want a player who doesn't have the guts to fight back? I want a player who's got the guts not to fight back.
Jackie Robinson.
You a hero.
42, the Jackie Robinson story.
A fee for changing plans? Seriously?
And of course, no charge for the changes.
Oh, great.
Hey. Hi.
Oh.
Change your plan as often as you want. Free. One of 4 smartphone freedom advantages, only with Rogers.
Welcome back to Call for Help. I have no idea what the answer to this one is. Which TV news personality helped founded Space.com? I'm thinking John Roberts. Did JR do it?
Maybe.
No, it was Lou Dobbs.
Wow.
Lou Dobbs, who is on CNN.
Yeah.
Lou Dobbs. So I hope you got that right, because I sure didn't. I thought, John Roberts is the Canadian.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they'd kind of,
J.D. Roberts.
J.D.
Used to be a Much Music VJ.
Yeah, and now he's on CNN.
Now he's like a big, gray-haired
news guy.
Wow.
Who'd have thunk it?
Wow.
There's hope for us still, Andy.
There is, I know. I'm about to hit 40.
Andy, rub it in. Andy Walker is here. He is, of course, the former co-host of Call for Help and a great guy. LittleGeeks.org, I should correct myself.
Yes, thank you.
That's tell us about that.
Well, I was feeling a little empty as I approached my 40th birthday, and I thought I got to give back to the world. I really do.
Good for you.
And I'd been thinking about doing something around computer literacy and kids. So I created Little Geeks, and what we do is we take computers donated from the community, from companies and individuals, and we retrofit them or bring them up to spec. And then we connect them with a free internet connection, and we give them to underprivileged children.
Oh, isn't that great?
Yeah. So
that's really wonderful. Do you have some underwriters helping you out with that?
Yeah, we have a large corporation that I can't mention yet, but they're giving us.
Because it takes money. I mean, that's
6
not...
GGs. Yeah.
Oh, that's.
Now, we're looking for actually major sponsors for the organization.
LittleGeeks.org if you want to help out.
Please.
Now, if you've ever done an MP3 or a video encoding, any kind of encoding of media, they often will say, "What's the bit rate?"
That's right.
We talk about 128 kilobits very frequently for MP3s or AACs, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. But what is a bit rate? Well, Andy Walker went to the store, bought some cheesecake, and is now going to explain.
Right.
What does cheesecake
So
have?
bit rate is actually the result of some really solid math. It's actually a very straightforward equation. I actually have it punched up here if we can pull it up. But it's basically bit depth.
Okay.
Right? And I'll explain what that is in a second using the cheesecake versus against sample rate, which is cycles per second. So
what is bit depth?
So bit depth is essentially, when you grab a piece of sound in a slice of time, it's the amount of data that you can grab, the slices of frequency, the sound frequency you can get.
In terms of colors, if you have 256 bits, you have 256 colors, which is 8 bits. That's all the different colors you could do.
That's right.
With 16 bits, you can do 2 million colors. So it's the same thing. You have 2 million frequencies that you could represent of audio.
And so the way I would illustrate this is, let's say the spoon is 16-bit. It's a 16-bit bit depth.
That's a 16-bit spoon.
So we're going to actually get, I'm going to grab some
16 bits of cheesecake.
16 bits of cheesecake. Would you like some?
That's as big as it can get. I'd love some, actually.
Very tasty.
All right.
Now, of course, if you want to do a bigger sample rate,
right, we need a bigger spoon.
We need a bigger spoon, right? So that would be 24 bits.
24 bits.
24, right? So
this was 65,000 possibilities.
Yeah, possibilities.
This is 16 million.
16 million, 16.7 million.
So I need to fill this spoon, though.
Exactly, please do.
Okay.
All right.
Kelly, come here.
So there you go.
I'm not eating this one. We're going to get the skinny kid to do this. You have to eat the big one. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh my gosh, my mouth's not
Go,
too big.
Callie. Go, Callie.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
Just cheesecake hog.
She practically took my arm off. Wow. You're a good eater, girl.
Atta girl. We got lots of cheesecake.
More and more
Absolutely.
all the time.
All right. So now
was-
we know. So in a slice of time now, we know we can actually grab 16
Don't
bits.
choke on that.
She got cheesecake coming out of her nose.
Out of her ears.
Or 24 bits, right?
Okay,
And we
got
can
it.
actually go up. We can go higher, right?
You could go higher.
We can go higher, but basically
24 is enough.
24 is enough, exactly. So then but because a song isn't static, right? It happens over a period of time.
So that was just one little sample.
One sample, one slice.
We have to take many samples.
Right. So that's calculated in the sample rate, and that's measured in hertz or kilohertz.
How many samples per second, basically?
Right.
Or
how many samples per second?
How many
exactly.
samples per second?
Actually, a hertz is how many cycles per second.
Okay.
So kilohertz would be 1,000 cycles per second.
1,000 samples per second.
1,000 samples per second. And in fact, standard audio sampling rate in, for example, an MP3 is 44.1 kilohertz, which is
44,100 samples a second.
So what's happening is, so now let's assume this is the beginning of the song right here, and this is the end of the song right here.
You're
What
going to do
happens is-
44,000
Right, so we're going to go
slices. We probably do a little finer than that. But and then how many? Yeah, look at that. Okay, and then in that number of samples, there is 16 bits of data each sample.
Right, so that could be, so for example, remember we said that this was 16 bits.
Right,
perhaps,
fits right in that spoon.
Perhaps.
And that's maybe, this would be a 24-bit fit in that spoon.
There you go.
So the number of samples times the number of bits per sample is
gives
the
you
bit
your
rate.
bit rate, exactly.
The higher the bit rate, the bigger the file.
Bigger file, right.
But the better the quality.
Right, there you go.
For more cheesy goodness and Andy's food demos, we've got lots of them on labrats.tv. You can also learn about his charity work at littlegeeks.org. Read up on his segment by checking out our show. It's a callforhelptv.com. We'll be back with Cheesecake for All right after this. Come on, Mike. See if you can do as well as Callie did. Oh! We'll be right back.
I wish that I could have this moment for life. 'Cause in this moment I just feel so alive. 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 I wish that I could have this moment for life. For life. For life.
Most people think more about how they brush than what they brush with, until I show them the new Oral-B Pro Health Clinical ProFlex brush. Its ProFlex sides adjust to teeth and gums for a better clean. No wonder Oral-B is the brand more dentists choose. The new Pro Health Clinical ProFlex brush.
One genius changed hair design forever. Vidal Sassoon inspired hundreds of salons, thousands of styles, and millions of women everywhere. Revolutionary then, revolutionary again. New Vidal Sassoon Pro Series. Salon genius. Brilliantly priced.
Are you really getting salon quality or settling for wannabes? Stop compromising. New Vidal Sassoon Pro Series. Now shake up your look the Vidal Sassoon way every day. It's Salon Genius in a bottle. Vidal Sassoon Pro Series. Salon Genius, brilliantly priced.
Nobody else has a class-exclusive 8-speed transmission. Nobody else gets 36 miles per gallon. And nobody else rises to the challenge with a class-exclusive, height-adjustable air suspension. 3 reasons why the all-new Ram 1500 is the 2013 North American Truck of the Year. Guts, glory, Ram.
Once upon a time, people came from all over to get a free Kindle Paperwhite e-reader. They simply got a new smartphone on select 3-year plans from Rogers and read happily ever after. But hurry, this story ends soon.
You were wondering why I had the apron, the protective
Yes.
glasses on. Now you know. Whenever Andy comes in the studio, I always put that stuff on because you never know what's going to go flying. You're game. That's all I can say, Callie Lewis. That was very good.
Well,
Was it good?
I was learning something until I took that big, and then it just went all to my head.
The sugar. Woo, sugar rush. It's good cheesecake, though, wasn't it?
Very good.
You're a good sport. Thank you so much for being here. This is
Thank you
something
for
you don't have
having
to
me.
deal with at geekbrief.tv.
Yeah.
Nobody
No,
force
for
feeding you
real.
chunks of cheesecake. Do check out Callie's wonderful podcast, geekbrief.tv, part of the Pod Show Podcast Network. Sounds like Mike had a little accident. You slip on the cheesecake. If you want to be on the show, go to the website, callforhelptv.com, and click that link that says Ask a Question. Remember, if you've got a problem with your personal confuser,
Don't whine.
don't moan.
Don't yell.
Just call for
help.
cheesecake.
Oh,
or help.
cheesecake.
We'll see you later.
Leo.
Bye.